Howdy guys, I'm back with another video. I haven't recorded in a while, it's been a bit. I take it back, I recorded recently like a half an hour video that I planned out and had all ready. It was going to be perfect, and then I go and then I check everything out in my phone and it says file corrupted. So, it's not my fault. I tried. I damn near chucked my phone against the wall, but rage against inanimate objects and needless violence is not accepted in this household. At least not when my phone is involved. Oh my god, I got so mad. I lost all the footage. It made me so frustrating. But I'm gonna refilm it, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna revisit that topic. But for now, to everybody who watches my videos, you know, normally, who's subscribed, all my wonderful subscribers, I ditched the green. I'm sorry, I ditched it. It was wonderful while it lasted, but it was also only a $50 wig. This one is slightly more expensive, nicer too. I like it. Brings out my inner high school goth, and I'm rocking that one right now. So, now that my hair's been addressed, what this video is, as you can probably tell by what I'm going to title it. I don't know what I'm going to title it yet, but you'll know because you clicked on it. I am going to be showing you all of my tattoos. You can get a sneak peek of it right now. Let's cover it for now. I'm not doing that one just yet. Actually, let's probably do that one first. So yeah, in the past couple of videos, I think the one where I showed my tattoo and then I posted a couple pictures on Instagram, and you guys have been asking for like a tattoo tour, and somebody's like, oh my god, what's your tattoo? Or how many tattoos do you have? And one person even commented and asked me if my tattoo was a specific thing, and they got it, they nailed it. They got exactly what it was. So I was like, somebody noticed it and got it right. So that was fun. That was exciting for me. Also, please ignore my messy background. I procrastinate and I'm too lazy to clean up, and it's my house. God damn it, shut up. But I have me in my workout clothes. I've cropped out workout clothes because I just got back from the gym, and once again I have horrible timing for making my videos. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, I stink, but there's no smell-o-vision, so you can't tell. That's okay. I got a whole ass fucking pie to myself. Do not judge me. Even if you do, I don't care, because I'm gonna eat this entire pie by tonight. And I know you're just jealous because you don't have a pie right now in front of yourself. And if you do, congratulations, we can eat our pie together. Alright? We can eat it together. But, since I'm too lazy to edit this video, let's just get right in before I stumble on my words, and then I want to redo the intro again. And this is my first take. This is take number 1. I'm not redoing this intro, alright? I'm gonna get it on the first try. So if you're seeing this, comment down below, like something. Maybe. No, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end of the video. But yes, my tattoos. I do have tattoos. I have lots of tattoos. Well, not lots. I'm working. I have more tattoos than I would say most. People that I know, at least. I'm working on my sleeve. I got it all going up. I'm gonna show you guys in-depth pictures of that. I have a Japanese dragon sleeve on working on a sleeve. I just added more to that one just probably a couple of days ago, so it still looks really fresh, and I will show you guys that one. And then I'm also going to show you the scarification I got from probably the title of this video that you got there. That one, we'll get into it. I'm not as prepared as I probably should be. There's a couple questions that I should probably answer about all this, but I mean, we can get into that as we go. I mean, most of my videos are not very prepared or orderly or organized, but we managed so far. Dolores is napping, to everybody who wants to see Dolores, my lizard. I took her out and I fed her, and she's sunbathing, and I don't want to bother her because then she'll be grumpy and she won't snuggle with me later tonight, and that's a necessity. So, yeah, getting into it. Let's start off with my sleeve there. I'm working on it. It's a horror game sleeve because I'm a nerd and I'm obsessed with horror games. The first horror, I'm gonna try, I don't have my glasses on right now, so I can't really see if you guys are in focus, so if it's not, I deeply apologize. And I'll add pictures if it's not. But, this is my sleeve. I'll get up here for you. It's like, focus on it. It's really bright. It's a Dead Space tattoo. from Isaac Clarke, the video games, because the OG Dead Space was my favorite. It's like the best one ever. Dead Space 2 was really good. I wasn't a fan of Dead Space 3, but we're just not going to talk about that one, okay? It's like a different genre. It's fine, it's fine. Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 are my OG go-to games. I played the Dead Space game when I was, I think, 12, and I finished that one, and then ever since I played that one, I played like the Outlast games, and I just got hooked on horror. And like, I liked horror movies already, but I mean, just the Dead Space 1 just set it off for me onto my, it just kickstarted my addiction. So I'll give you guys a little bit closer up. It's not done yet. I'm going in next month to finish this part up, and it's like set in like the outer space. We got like the planet stuff there, and then the exploding star like right there. I hope you guys can see this okay. I'll try to get like a close-up of it. He's got the blood running down. I pretty much told my artist that I want a Dead Space tattoo, and that I wanted color realism, and that if he could make it look awesome, that he could do and design whatever he wanted. And that's what he came up with, and I'm so happy with it. It's so nice. And also the shop, the tattoo shop, if anybody's in Spokane looking for a good artist by chance, I go to On the Level tattoo shop in Spokane, and my artist name is Joe Clark. He's been tattooing for like I think like 15 years. He's really good. And I think he has a website too. Anybody who wants to check him out, shout out to Joe Clark. It's, I think, just joeclarktattoo.com. I'll link it in the description if anybody wants to know about that one. So yeah, I'm finishing that. This is my baby right now. It's my full, most expensive piece I probably have on my entire body. I have that one. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do in the future, and then I'll just update you guys as I finish them. So, next is this part. I'm gonna do the alien Xenomorph from the Ellen Ripley Alien movies and like the Alien Isolation video games. I'm gonna get his head with like the drool coming down in like a dark green bluish tone right there, to contrast the bright orange, like the light tones, and then we're gonna do the dark right there, and have that one probably go all the way right there. That part's gonna be a bitch to tattoo, but it's okay, we'll get through it. I think the worst part on this one, let me just say, is the elbow ditch. This part right in here was really rough, and probably behind here, because it's just so sensitive, and oh my god, that part was rough. But I mean, it wasn't like too bad. I think the worst was probably my elbow, or the inside of my elbow. But I mean, just breathe through it. But I mean, oh my god, that one was horrible. The outside wasn't really that bad. This part was probably the easiest, along with this one, and then but the farther you get out to the sides, the more it starts to hurt, and then same with this side. But yeah, next is gonna be the Alien Isolation, the Xenomorph there, because he's badass, and I love those. The original Alien movie is also like one of the first horror movies. It's like an original horror sleeve. My first horror game I played, the first horror movie I watched was Alien, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do for this one yet. I was thinking, me and my artist were thinking about maybe doing just like another Dead Space thing, but I was like, well, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next, but I was like, ooh, you know what my favorite, like, oh my god, like, Happy in the Pants, like, horror monster villain type guy, besides the Dead Space and everything else, one of my favorites that I really liked was the like Safehead Boxman from The Evil Within. And I'm like, oh my god, like that guy, when I played that game, just ripped me a new asshole, I swear to god. I died to him like 15 million times, but I loved it, I swear to god. He was so awesome. He looked so awesome. Just the cracking his own safe head off. I just nerdgasm. Oh my god, I love him so much. So I'm gonna talk to my artist and see if we can't do like, I think I have enough room to do like a portrait of him with like his saw thing and the safe head and just in the light and just oof. It's just, I hope, I don't know. The only thing holding me back right now is time and money, because these are very expensive. I might make a Patreon so you can pay for my tattoos. But, kidding. But, so there's that one. The next one I have is one of my probably most controversial tattoos. And it doesn't mean what a lot of people think it means, which I like about it, because it looks, I'm not gonna lie, I'll show you what it looks like right now. It's this right, whoop, let me go back. It's this tattoo right here. And let me focus on there. It looks like an occult tattoo. It's not an occult tattoo. It has a personal meaning, but the meaning is not worship the devil, okay, so don't worry about that. That's that one. I wanted something more, like, geographic with, like, some old-timey religious symbols that I wanted to get in there. I wanted it to look kind of edgy, you know? I wanted it to look like it meant one thing, but not another, because I like this tattoo because it helps narrow down who I should and should not be interacting with. And I'll explain that. Meaning, especially when I'm working retail, right? Especially when I first got this tattoo, a lot of the older white women, especially, would come up, and sometimes older gentlemen. There's a lot of, like, maybe 40s and older, all right? The people who think their opinion matters, you know? Not that if you're older than 40 and your opinion doesn't matter, that's not it. It just doesn't matter to me when it's a negative opinion about something on my body. Because if you want to bash my tattoos, your opinion is shit. I'm sorry. To me, at least. But it was always people, especially more so women. They just got brave. It's just like whatever it is about old white women thinking that they can just bash somebody and that I shouldn't get mad just baffles me. I don't know. But I'm getting off track. Why I like this tattoo is because sometimes I'll be talking with someone and they seem nice, you know, and then the second or maybe they see my tattoo and they go, it's like, oh, that's not a devil worship tattoo, is it? Or something snobby like that. Or they'll be like, or I had one lady in particular ask, it's like, that cross isn't upside down, is it? Or something like along those lines. And they'll say things like that, or they'll comment like things like you shouldn't worship the devil like that, or they'll just completely make assumptions that they'll know what it is. And even if it's not something negative like that, I have some people ask me, I think if it's something off of an anime that I've had a couple people mistake it for. It's not Full Metal Alchemist? I don't know. I don't watch very much anime. I just know somebody mistakes it for like an anime thing. It's not an anime thing. It's something else. I custom made this piece. I didn't just take it off the internet. But yeah, so I mean, I kind of like that because it shows me who legitimately ask me what it means, and then I'll explain it to them. Or if people just make assumptions about it and start bashing it, assuming they think it's like a Satanist tattoo or something, then that just lets me know that's not somebody that I want to hang around with. So it does me favors like that, you know. If you legitimately ask, don't make assumptions. Don't think you know everything before you actually know. All right, drives me nuts. All right, you don't know anything about it. All right, until I explain it to you. But anyways, rant over. There's that one. This one I did not get on the Level Tattoo. This one I got at a different shop in Spokane called Screaming Ink. And that one's right by the Albertsons in Spokane. And I got that one done by Mark Thorne. His Instagram is also mthorntattoo on Instagram, I want to say. Just MTHORNE with an E at the end. Thorn with an E and then tattoo. And he does some really good work too. He does mostly like traditional, and he's also the one doing my Japanese, finishing that one. So there's that. I got that one a long time ago. I got this one before I got this one done. And I'm just going to probably work around it. But there's that. And my next tattoo is my Japanese sleeve tattoo. And the dragon was the very first tattoo that I ever got. The very first one. I got it when I was 18, it took like 6.5 hours. And let me mention, all of these sessions are all usually about 6.5 hours long. I sometimes do a half-day session if I am like a little bit low on budget, but normally I come in at like 11. We get the stencil on by like 11:30 if we need a stencil, and then we go usually until around 6 for this one. My tattoo, my dragon one, I just got done. I'll show you. I'm not gonna mess with my camera, so I'm just gonna stand on my chair. But this is my Chinese dragon one. Let me make sure it's focused there. I'm gonna have to go down like that. I don't even know if you guys can see that. I'm balancing on one leg here. But yeah, that's my dragon. I just got that part done. I added the red and the clouds because I'm going to build it down and probably fill in clouds behind it. Oh, you can see my butt there. Yeah, it goes all the way into my hip. And I'm going to do that one all the way down my leg. And there's that. I'm balancing on one leg to show you guys that. So if you want to take a deeper look at it, you got to pause the video. Or look at my Instagram. I'm pretty sure I have that posted on Instagram too. If not, I will be posting pictures there. But yeah, I have that one. The dragon piece, I didn't get done by Screamin' Ink. That one was in a different shop. I forget what it's called. That was a couple years ago. Because I'm 21 now. Yes, that was 3 years ago. That one was a 6-hour session. We did it all in one go. It hurt like a bitch. Although I've learned... Apologies, guys. My phone has been doing this incredibly irritating thing called overheating. Well, I said I'm not restarting this video. My phone has been doing this incredibly irritating thing called overheating while I'm in the middle of recording. There we go. I got through the whole thing without stuttering. You're proud of me. But I'm gonna try and make this video a little bit short. I'm almost done. I only got one more thing to show you guys. But let's pray to God that my phone doesn't overheat again. I think it's because I'm charging it at the same time. Maybe that's just too much for its little Note 9 brain to handle. But yeah, so I got my Japanese sleeve done. Not by the same artist. I went and got my dragon done where I used to live in Wenatchee. I don't remember the shop's name. That was good. That was my first tattoo. Got it all done in one session. It was a massive pain in the ass. It hurt a lot. But that one was cool. So yeah, and I think the most, and by the way, I've had piercings and I've had my tattoos. I've gotten really painful piercings before, probably, this is really off topic, but probably the most painful piercing I've ever gotten is the dermal piercing, and it almost looks like a staple with the jewelry on the little ends, like that, and the jewelry is on top, and this part is on top of your skin, and the staple is underneath, so it's like this, where the bottom part is underneath your skin. And say if I wanted one on my wrist, they would pinch this thick part of skin, and then they'd shove the needle through that, and then they'd flip and push the little staple part underneath in one end and out the other. So it's underneath, and the jewelry would sit on top. I had that on the back of my neck. I don't have it anymore. But yeah, so they'd pinch. They pinched that much of skin. I don't know if you can see that because I can't see, but they did, and then they shoved this big ass needle just through that much of skin, and then just, oh my god, that one hurt so bad. But I've had that. I've pierced my nose. Everything else I've done myself as a stupid teenager, I'll say. I've had my noses pierced, my septum, I did that one myself. That one hurt a lot. I did my ears a bunch, but those were really easy because it's just your ears. The cartilage was a little crunchy, for lack of a better term. But I've done that one. I've done my smiley, which is the little thing in there. I've done the under the tongue one. I've never pierced my tongue before because the whole time I've pierced these, I never did this intelligently. I never used an ounce of intelligence while I was piercing myself. I had a sewing needle or a safety pin, literally the safety pins where you clip things together. Safety pin. And I just used whatever I could. I was so stupid. I never had a legitimate piercing needle once in my life. Mostly because the entire time I was piercing myself, I was 15 or 16 at home, and it was like at midnight because my parents forbid me from having any piercings. So I rebelled and I shoved needles in my face. I've also done my lips were the first piercing I did myself. I just one in one side and then one in the other, and then I just put the earrings in, and I was like, oh, snake bites. Got that one. I've done my tops before myself. For a while I wanted a bridge piercing for a bit. And that one was good. I wanted to split my tongue too. I was into like heavy body modification when I was a teenager. And not that I don't like that stuff, but it's just not the route I'm going, at least not right now. But yeah, so I've had all of those piercings, all of them done. Yet, probably the more painful than my piercings or my tattoo, I have to say, was probably the scarification I got, or branding I got done when I was 18. I think I got the branding, like, either right before my dragon tattoo or right afterwards, because I had tattoos. I tattooed myself too, and I'll show you. I'll clip pictures if I can. I really hope I can. If not, I'll link pictures in my Instagram if I can't figure out how to edit the video without ruining the whole thing, of what my scarification looked right after I got it. I mean, and they're not pretty photos too, so if I do insert it here, I'll give you like a warning that it's not bloody, but they're in the process of healing, and they do look really kind of gross. So if you're squeamish, just don't look for like the next 10 seconds, alright? But yeah, I got my scarification done, and because I had tattoos, I had a arrow on my wrist, and pause, play, and skip, the music symbols on my thumb, I guess, and the pause, play, skip music things on my wrist. I guess you can probably see it better there. But I got those. I took India ink from my art teacher when I was in high school, and again, a safety pin sewing needle, and I just poked it in. That was my first tattoo. I did that when I was like 16, and I liked it, and it stayed. It was a tattoo, but I wouldn't, if I had to go back in time, I obviously wouldn't be tattooing myself when I was 16 years old, but at the time I wanted a tattoo so bad that I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna tattoo myself on my hand, of all places. What kind of a dumbass was I? Didn't obviously know what I wanted to do when I was older. But yeah, so fast forward, I'm 18, I'm looking at joining the military. I know, me, in the military. I had been talking to one of the recruiters down. He was really nice. He was, brutally honest, and I appreciated that. He was a Marine recruiter for the Marines. I know some people like it, some people give me shit for it, but I wanted to be the best of the best. I wanted to go into the toughest branch there was, and the Marines was the hardest, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And so I had been talking to a recruiter and working out and doing all that stuff, getting ready to go to MEPS. And I was like all excited. I had my job picked out. I wanted to be like this crazy scientist person who studied like it was a CBRN person military people will know what will know what I'm talking about. The gas chamber guys. I wanted to do that. I wanted to gas everybody. But yeah, so I wanted to do military, Marines. But when I did that when I was 18, obviously, and I've been working out and training, but as I'm going to MEPS, my recruiter is like, yo, what's on your wrist? You can't have that in the military. And I was like, shit. And so I basically was like, well, okay, what do I do about it? Can I get a waiver for it? And he's like, well, we can send it up, but I can't guarantee that it'll work. We have to get your medical documents approved too, and then you have to pass MEPS, and he's like, it's just another thing that's just stacking against you, and they don't, he said that I could probably get a waiver for it, but it just wasn't a guarantee, and I was like, well, shit, I don't want to go and then get it denied and then not be able to go, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get it removed. So I looked into ways of getting a tattoo removed, and at the time I lived in like a really small town, and we didn't have laser removal surgery or laser tattoo removal. We didn't really have anything, and so and the closest laser I think place was in Spokane, where I'm at now. And at the time I didn't have a car yet. I was 18. I had just graduated from high school, and I was still living with my parents. And I was like, fuck, it's like I can't go to Spokane. I can't get it lasered off. How am I gonna get this thing removed? huh. And besides, when I had looked into getting laser removal, they said sometimes it often takes multiple sessions and it doesn't all go away at the first try. And sometimes they're like, well, sometimes it might not work. And I was like, well, shit, I can't, even if I were to, say, make a legit drive trip up to Spokane or wherever I was going to go to get it lasered off, I couldn't make a second trip. I was like, I can do the one trip when I was 18 because I would have to bribe my mother into taking me up because I didn't have a car yet. But I was like, well, shit, I mean, I can't go and get it lasered and pay. And laser was expensive. I mean, it was more money than I had. I couldn't afford it. And especially couldn't afford multiple sessions. And so I was like, well, shit. So I started, of course, looking up, and I had done my piercings myself. I had tattooed myself. I was like, okay, I can remove this myself. Fuck it. And so I started looking. I was like, I Googled, like, how to remove tattoos at home. Like an idiot. I did not do the branding myself. I did not do that. I'll get into that in a sec. And so I started looking, and I was like, shit. And then people were talking about, like, taking, I think it was like it was something, maybe like a bunch of salt or something, and like some sort of like, I don't know, like a sponge or like sandpaper, and just getting all the way down and just literally scraping it off. And I was like, that takes a lot, and I have an incredibly high pain tolerance, but I don't think I can sandpaper as far deep down as I have the ink. I mean, when I was doing it, I mean, it was really far deep down there. And I was like, well, I don't know how far deep I'm going to have to go. And then another option was like, well, you can heat up like a knife or whatnot with a lighter or some stupid shit like that, and you can burn it off. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem like a good idea either. And I was actually intelligent. For a while, I was considering being stupid and burning it off, but I didn't know how hot I needed to get something to actually burn it off, and I didn't want to hold it there for like a good 2 minutes in order to burn it. Like, I didn't know if I needed to get it like white hot or what, and I just didn't have that kind of stuff. I didn't have a freaking torch, you know. I had a lighter, like a Bic lighter, and that's not enough, and a stove. But even with a stove, that wasn't enough. So anyways, I Google, and somehow I stumble across, like, maybe it was like a Reddit thread or something, or like where somebody else had asked how to remove tattoos, and I think one of the other ones said, go get it cut off, and they mentioned something about scarification, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, scarification, oh, I can just get it cut off. Oh, my battery's running low. Oh, that's my finger. Anyways, but yeah, and so then I was like, oh, and then I looked it up, or I looked into it, and I looked it up online. I was like, well, this is actually more affordable, more in my price range. And then I looked it up, and I watched videos online, and I got kind of queasy when they used like a scalpel to legit just like carve pieces and like chunks out of people's skin. Then they'd lift it up, and then they'd like cut it off. And I was like, holy shit. But I was desperate. I wanted to join the military. And I was like, oh my god. It's like, I can get this done. And I Googled it. And I was like, yeah, but where in the hell am I going to find somebody to do that around here? And I couldn't find anybody who would cut pieces off of me in my little tiny town, unfortunately. You know, big surprise there. But Garland Tattoo and Body Piercing in Spokane, ironically, where I am living now, does all sorts of body modifications. And so I was like, ooh, they do it? Haha. You know, it's like, oh, thank God, I found somebody. And so I emailed them, and I was like, hey, I kind of told them what I was doing. I was like, hey, I want to join the military, but I got this tattoo that I want to get rid of. I sent them pictures of it and the location, and I was like, hey, I really want to get this removed. Can you use some scarification or whatever? I want to get scarification to remove it. And then the guy got back to me. It was a long time ago, so my memory might be a little rusty. But he basically is like, yeah, we can do that for you. And then he asked me to send over pictures, and I sent it. And then he gave me a quote. It was $200, and to get it removed. And then I said, okay, great. I went up and I bribed my parents. I told my mother, it's like, hey, I need to join the military. I really want to do this, but I can't do it with this tattoo. I need to get it removed. And there's a place in Spokane that will remove it for me. I don't think I told her at first how I was going to get it removed. I think I told her eventually. And I was like, well, they'll probably just cut it off. And she's like, what? I don't think she probably expected me to go through with it, Because, I mean, that was that was the most extreme thing that I had probably done up until this point. But, and so, yeah, I don't even remember how I convinced her. I just asked her, I was like, hey, I'll pay for the gas, like, can we please just go up and get this removed? And then she agreed, and we went up, and she drove me up there. We made a little day trip out of it. It's only like 3.5, 4 hours to drive to this place from where I was living before. And so we set a date. It was like a couple months away, or maybe it was only like a month away. And I set it, and I was like, okay. And then I got really fucking nervous because I knew there were multiple ways that people did scarification. I know there was the branding, which is just like a legit, like the metal brand. I knew there was the one where it's almost like a pen. It's like the surgical pen, where the way the guy explained it to me when I was up getting it, it was like a 2,000 Fahrenheit cautery iron, and it cauterizes it for like surgical procedures. And like, yeah, I think he said 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It got really, really, really fucking hot. Like, I mean, you touch it and your skin just turns black. But then there was that one, and then there's also the Scalpel Method, which is the most popular version that I had seen. And they literally just go in and they just carve out the piece. And every site that I had looked into had basically said, hey, there's no numbing cream. You know, you don't numb the area for tattoos. It's a rite of passage. You deal with it. You deal with the pain. The pain is a part of it. You grow and you learn from it. No, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. I was like, I don't want to get something cut off of me. But I had way too much pride. I was like, no matter what, I'm not gonna ask for numbing cream. I'm not gonna do it. I ain't gonna bitch out. I ain't gonna do that shit. I can do it. And I did. And so we made the appointment. We drove up there, and I get to the shop, and on the way up there, as we're driving up, I get so nervous. Like, I will admit. I mean, I was 18. I was a little 18-year-old girl. Like, I don't even think I'd gotten a tattoo at that point. Or maybe I had. Maybe I got my dragon tattoo. But I had never gotten anything this extreme. Oh my god! It's overheating again! Take 2 of my phone overheating. But perks of take 2 is I finally ran and grabbed my glasses so I can actually see you guys. Hey! And in the process of me getting angry at my phone for overheating, I completely forgot where I left off. But, oh, yes, I was driving up. We were driving up to Spokane to get my... This is like way off. See, this is where my phone gives me issues. Okay. So, we're driving up. And as I'm driving up there, I realize that I'm going, at that moment, that exact moment, in like 2 hours to get my tattoo removed. And I realize, I don't know how he's gonna remove it. He never said, and I never asked. I was like, is he gonna cut it off? Is he gonna burn it off? And just the not knowing was like, oh my god, it's like, it freaked me out. Like, I swear I had like 10 mini panic attacks. Or probably realistically, more like one long, mild panic attack the entire drive up there. Because I just didn't know. I just didn't know what to expect. And just the not knowing just drove me nuts. And it just freaked me out, and I started to really freak out, and I told myself I have to calm down. It's like, oh my god, it's like I gotta start breathing. I had to do legit breathing exercises. I've never had to do breathing exercises in my life because I got so worked up. But I didn't have a legit panic attack. My mom probably just thought I got like real quiet for a long time because I was internally dying. But long story short, I tell myself I need to shut the fuck up. I need to stop bitching out. It's like, I can do this. And then we get there, and I walk into the shop, and I was like, holy shit, this is really happening. My mother embarrassed me and got emotional because she finally realized that we were going in there and they were gonna cut me up or some shit. And then she's like, oh my god. And then she went like that. She was like, oh. And then she got like upset, and I was like, Mother, go leave, please go in the car. You were embarrassing me right now. And it was so embarrassing to have my mother drop me off in the tattoo shop with the artist in front of the artists and start crying because I'm gonna get my tattoo removed. And I was like, Mom, you're crying in front of my scarification artist. You're embarrassing me. And then so she left. So I told her, like, leave. You need to go, like, right now into the car. You are humiliating me right now. And then she's like, okay, fine. And she's like struggling not to lose it at this point. I don't know where. It just came out of nowhere. And so she waited in the car while I got this done. It took like an hour. And so the guy's like, okay, cool. And I think I just filled out some paperwork or something. And then so he took me to the back, and he got things set up. And at this point, I had kind of gone numb because I'm like, all right, I'm here. And once I get into the mode where I'm here right now, this is happening right now, especially if I'm in front of the artist or the tattoo artist or anybody else who is witnessing it, like I can't break down. I can't lose it. I can't ask for a break. I can't ask for the numbing spray with the tattoo or whatnot because I can't look bad. I can't look like I can't handle it. And that's a personal flaw, I know, but I can't do it. I can't let myself do it. I have to take it because I'm tough or something, you know, whatever. But so, yep, we get there, he gets in there, and then I think I asked him how he's gonna remove it because I didn't know. And he pulls out the cautery iron, the one, not the branding, not the scalpel, the actual iron. It looks like a pen with like a long cord, you know, attached to it. And then he sets that down, he lets that heat up for a bit, and then he cleanses everything, and then he basically sets me down. I lay my arm on the table. Let me actually show you before my phone overheats again, and then I just say call it quits on this entire video. Let me show you. If you can see it, I might be super fucking white. Oh, I don't think it'll focus on that. There we go. That's the healed scar. I still have a couple dots. And then there's those where it used to be. They're raised and they're definitely noticeable. They hurt if I rub them too much, and they just feel really weird. But yeah. So that's what they look like now, but he basically got the cautery iron out. And mind you, I walk into this bitch to get my skin burned off of me with a Subway sandwich. I don't know if that's bad or not, but maybe I just wasn't prepared for the smell. But I mean, I didn't really care because I had the steak Chipotle thing with extra bacon, extra cheese, and I ate that while he was burning it off of me. And that might have probably been the strangest thing I had done. Maybe it's not that weird, but I mean, I was holding it there, and he was doing it, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm hungry." And so I was like, "You mind if I eat my sandwich?" And he was just like, "Sure, I'm hungry." And so I pulled out my headphones and I just started eating it. And mind you, it sounds like it went really smoothly. It did not go smoothly. I mean, it went fine, but internally, I was absolutely dying. He goes, and in the pen, as soon as he touches the skin, it like curls up and gets black. Like, it feels like electric shocks, like white hot electric shocks, just non-stop. And so I've never been in so much pain where I was like immediately, like, I had to distract myself. I like started reading labels off of shit. I was like, fuck, I gotta find something. I was like, oh my god. It's like, I was looking, I was like reading things, I was reading the alphabet backwards. He was doing like, oh, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3. I was like, holy fucking shit, this hurts so fucking bad. And I sat there and he did the entire thing. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, I didn't pass out, but yeah, I mean, I had music, my big headphones on, and it wasn't enough. I mean, I didn't stop. I didn't ask him to stop. I'm proud of myself for that. But yeah, I mean, it was horrible. I mean, he had a filing cabinet, and I remember reading each and every layer of the filing cabinet backwards, and then I was like frantic at this point. I was like, fuck, I gotta get my mind off of it. And then I would read the letters backwards. And then that took probably 20 or 30 minutes to finish the first one and it wasn't simple. He had to repeatedly burn off each layer and then like scrape it off, and then burn off the next layer and then scrape it off, like the burnt charred skin. And then, sorry if I'm getting too graphic too, I never know what people can handle or not, but yeah, and then he finally, until he got down past where the tattoo was. And it's weird because once he got past the nerves, the middle part didn't hurt that much. It's just the outside that I could still feel that was like charred and burned. That part hurt, and you know, I got them both places too. But yeah, that part was rough. And then, so yeah, we did that. I looked at it. It was really weird because after you get past a certain layer of skin, you can see, I saw like little yellow, almost like round bubbles underneath, like really tiny. And I was like, oh shit, is that like a fat layer? But, oh, my phone's gonna die real quick. Let me plug in real quick, guys. Watch my phone overheat at this exact same moment. Oh, there we go. Is it? I think we still got some time. But, yeah, and so I looked, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, it was like a legit indent. Like, we had to burn a lot to get past that layer. But, yeah, he did that one, and then he's like, okay, you want to take a break? And I was like, sure, like, if he offers for me to take a break, like, I'll take it, but I can't ask for a break. It's just, that's embarrassing. For me personally, don't feel like you can't take breaks. I just can't take breaks. It's a personal problem, all right? I'm working on it. But yeah, and then I don't know what it was that happened after I finished the first one. It took like half an hour of me sitting there letting him legit burn and scrape off charred layers of skin with a 2000 degree Fahrenheit cautery iron. It hurt, but I was fine. I felt fine. And then he was like, you want to take a break? And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm just going to get some fresh air. And so I stand up in the chair, and I was like, okay, we're fine. And then I walk out into the front lobby, and then I walk out outside, just right out in front. And they have like glass windows, and I'm like standing right in front of the glass windows, and I'm looking around and just breathing. I was like, whew. And then I never got dizzy, but the thing that I've never experienced this in my life. As I was standing out watching, I was like, what's going on? And just everything from the outside of my vision, just at a snail's pace, just started going black and darker and darker and darker. And I saw, and eventually, like, I mean, I couldn't see, like, I just couldn't see anything, but I was holding onto the wall because I'm like, shit, am I gonna pass out? And I stood there for like 30 seconds fighting it, just like, oh my God, do not pass out. This is so embarrassing. And I was like, I know my mother is in the car like 2 rows down, and I can see her, but I couldn't say anything because at this point, I mean, everything else was dark except I could maybe see like this much of like that, like across the road. Everything else was completely black, but I was still conscious because I did not want to pass out. I've never experienced anything else like that, and so I was grabbing the wall. I'm pretty sure the guy saw me grab the wall on the inside, and maybe I tipped a little bit. I never passed out. I didn't. I fought it. He brought a chair outside, and he's like, do you want to sit down for a sec? And I was just like, that'd be good. Yeah, and so I sat down, and I was just like, whew. And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, because I can't admit when I'm not good, apparently. And then I sat down for a minute. Everything was still black, and I can't see anything. After a couple minutes, I stood out there for maybe 5 or 10 minutes after just barely almost passing out, and my vision clears back up, and then he's like, you want to go back inside and finish up? And I was like, yeah, let's go back and finish it. And I was like, fuck, I gotta do this again. But, oh shit. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, Dolores was talking to me. I had to make sure that she was okay. But yes, and so I almost passed out, and I stood up, and we go back inside, and then I'm fine. I didn't pass out. It's just I got really fucking close, and I just not being able to see anything, but like just barely, like a shadow of a light, and I could barely make out like a door, you know, like I could not see things, and I've just never had that happen to me before, and it just freaked me the fuck out. But yeah, so that happened, and then I go back inside, and then I sit down, and then we finish up the middle part on my wrist, and then we get that one done. That one didn't take as long because we just had to, they were smaller bits. It was like 1 circle, 2, 3, and then 4. And then we do that, and I finish that up. And then, so all in all, it probably took 50 minutes to an hour, 45 to an hour, to finish the whole thing. And then, so I finish up, I pay him, I leave him a massive tip, because either I don't know how to tip, or I was feeling massively generous. It was like a $50 tip. But, yeah, I leave, and then I go home, and also one thing that he suggested I do to help pull the ink out more, anything that we might have missed, was to rip off the scab, essentially, which I didn't have a problem doing, because the wrap, after he put gauze on it, and then, you know, after a couple days I took it off, and then I bought some wrap. I swear to God I bought the right one, but it was after ripping it off, it would get bloody, and it would just bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed everywhere. And ripping off those scabs was, it was almost a fraction of how much it actually hurt to get. It was because it was so deep, and I had to rip off the entire thing. I was like, holy shit, this hurts. But, like I was saying, I had some help in taking off the scabs, because after like a day or two of me wrapping it up in the gauze, I went to unwrap it, and my gauze had healed inside the scab itself, and I couldn't get the gauze out, because it was the scab. And I was like, shit. And so I couldn't even take the gauze off. And so I had to rip the gauze off and the scab at the same time. And that happened probably 2 or 3 times. And I was like, fuck, I'm just not going to wrap it, because it just keeps getting stuck inside the thing. And I'd rip it out, and then it'd heal, and I'd see little pieces of gauze just healed inside my fucking skin. I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. But, so, yeah, that was my scarification. It took a long time to heal. So freaking long. It still hurts. I'm pretty sure I have some sort of nerve damage, because we went so deep in the skin. But I don't like touching it, because it doesn't feel good. But yeah, that's all my body modifications, my scarification story. But, and to answer, you might be wondering, it's like, oh, well, you got your scars removed to join the military. You know, it's like, did you join the military? I, afterwards, went back to my recruiter and showed him my cool, awesome scars that I got burned off my body, because I was going to join the Marines, right? Prove myself. I think that was just like a little chunk of boot camp myself. I should have earned some points there for doing that just to join. And then he, like, apparently tells like a couple of the other recruits, like, stories like, hey, I got this recruit, this chick burned her tattoos off or some shit. And I was like, I was kind of famous for maybe like a couple of weeks with some of the recruits. But yeah, so I do that, and then I get ready, and then we're working out, and then not too long after that, I decided I wanted to transition, and my recruiter was cool with it, you know, and so I had taken, at that point, I had begun the process of transitioning, and I had got a prescription for testosterone, and I was like dead set. I had a new name and everything, and then Donald Trump becomes president and says I am no longer welcome in the military, because I was trans. Not directly, but he got elected, and then, you know, I mean, he made the announcements that, I mean, it was like a mental sickness or whatnot. He said, whatever he said about people who were transgender were like a burden on the military, and like shouldn't be allowed in the military, and he essentially said that he's gonna kick us all out. And my recruiter basically told me at that point, after that happened, that he could try to get me in, but at that point, I could either quit and detransition and revert to my original gender and try to get in, which I did not want to do at that time, because I didn't want to sacrifice who I felt like I was just to get in. I was like, well, that's not a sacrifice I want to make. And he's like, okay, well, I can try to get you in, but I can essentially guarantee you it's not going to happen. I was like, wow. You have no idea I can't describe the emotion I felt of me spending all that time to study and get a good score in the ASVAB, all that time working out with the recruiter and spending mornings doing workouts with all the recruits, you know, people I was starting to be friends with, spending over $250 to drive 4 hours away to get a tattoo burned off of me, so in order to join, only for somebody to get elected and then tell me that I'm no longer welcome. yeah, I don't know how to describe that, but it happened. It happened. I don't know what else to say about that. Disappointing is not the right word for it, I will say. Angry, probably. Yeah, I don't know how to describe. I don't really know how to describe it. I was so gung ho. I was like, I'm gonna put in my 20 years. I'm gonna retire at 39 because I was gonna go when I was 18. I had everything planned out, and that was my entire goal. Everything I had planned out for the rest of my life. Like, I had obsessively planned. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this at this point, and then once I hit this age, after this credit score, after this long in the military, I qualify for 0% down on a home loan, and then I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my dogs. Like, I had everything planned out. And then when they told me that I couldn't join, I just didn't know what else to do. I was like, oh, well, I don't, like, I already knew, due to family financial reasons, that I couldn't count, at least. I couldn't count on student loans at the time. And I had no money saved up. I was working at a grocery store. And I was like, well, shit, what am I gonna do? It's like, I don't know what to do at this point. Like, my entire, everything I had was riding on me joining the military, which I was essentially told was, it's like, you're perfectly healthy, or you're just like, you're gonna join. I had my job planned out, and then all of that was just gone. And at that point, I was kind of just lost, I guess. I didn't know what to do with myself because I had put in so much time. It's just so much time that I spent dedicated to making this work for me. And then I decided, well, since I'm not detransitioning at that time, I wasn't detransitioning, I'm not joining the military, apparently. I decided, I packed up my shit and I moved to Spokane. Where I didn't know anybody. I was like, I'm just gonna move away. Fuck it, I'm done. And I'm gonna do my transition in Spokane. And then that's where I'm at now. I am a shift lead at a Walgreens. I've been working at Walgreens for the past 2 years. And it's absolutely nowhere near where I thought I would be, I will say. Am I disappointed things didn't work out? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at now with things if I hadn't have not been able to join and leave. So there might be some positives, but still, it was just such a kick in the nuts to be told it's not going to happen after everything I had done to make sure it happened. All the pain. But, yeah. This took a turn. This was not what I was expecting to talk about in this video. But yeah, that's my story. That's the story behind it. It's bittersweet. I have a cool scar and a really depressing story behind it. But yeah, so let me know in the comment section any sort of fun body modifications that you guys have, any tattoos that you guys have, if anybody has any weirdo piercings, or if anybody else has gotten scarification too. I want to know, because I haven't met anybody else who has done that before. And mind you, in my next tattoo I have planned out for this one, I want to also get more scarification. I'm not done with it. It sucked, but I want more. So we have that to look forward to also. I have my entire back piece tattoo, all of it, planned out. I know what I'm going to do. The only piece I don't know quite yet exactly what I'm going to put on it is my chest tattoo and my left leg. Those are the only spots available on my entire body that I don't have plans for, essentially. So, stay tuned for that. Let me know if you want to fund my tattoo journey. I won't say no. I'm desperate. depending on how much and how badly I want my tattoos, I mean, an OnlyFans account might be the way to go to fund my tattoo journey at this point. Hopefully not. Let's hope it doesn't get there. But, anyways, so, thanks for watching. It's probably really badly edited because I had to, my phone glitched out a couple times, and then I had to run to Dolores, but hopefully I can put this video together for you guys. So yeah, if you guys made it this long, comment, like, titty sprinkles. Comment hashtag titty sprinkles down in the comment section if you've made it this far, so I know. And yeah, so that's my tattoo journey. I'll keep you guys updated for whenever I finish it, or add more. I'll probably just make a video when I finish pieces, you know, because making each individual video every single time I just get a little tiny chunk just does not seem worth it. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys, you know. Oh, hit the subscribe button down below. I haven't been saying that. It would help me out a lot. I'm hoping that I can make 10,000 subscribers soon. I'm hoping. I don't know what kind of video it'll be for a 10,000 subscribers video. I don't know. Maybe leave requests for what you want me to do for that kind of a video. I can't do anything too extreme. I don't know. I'll figure it out though. Thanks. Bye.